Independent Civil Rights Commission. I've been asked if I would be willing to be the chair of that commission. The suggestion by those who approached me was that if I was willing to be the chair, then we'll take a few days to put that commission together. It's not yet together. The purpose principally will be fact-finding. And the immediate motivation is the killing of the young man that we've all read about in Woodland by 3 ununiformed officers, apparently part of a task force that deals with drugs in that community. It's sad to say the announcements from the officials that have been emanating after that killing have oftentimes been contradictory, have not been very fulfilling to the family and the loved ones of the deceased. I've been told, for example, and I may be speaking preliminarily because this will be, as I say, basically a fact-finding commission. But I've been told that the family was not even permitted to see the deceased after he had died. We're not able to inspect to see what happened to him, and indeed we're never able to see him until the night before he was buried. That's very extraordinary, frankly, in my experience. I've been at this business for just a little bit over 50 years. I'm influenced in terms of accepting this assignment by the fact that I served on the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights for 12 years, and I have seen the value that can come from independent citizens looking at a situation without the pressures that the government officials have. For example, I was just told a minute ago that the district attorney has announced that he has finished his investigation and is asking the U.S. Attorney's Office or the Attorney General's Office or the Justice Department, the FBI, to do an independent investigation. I applaud the DA for doing that. I feel that I have no doubt that when we finish our own report, we too will ask for that. In fact, one of the purposes of fact-finding is to be sure that we have the facts, so then we can call upon the state and federal justice departments to do what they're supposed to do. Nonetheless, we know that DAs have to work closely with police departments. Sometimes they're a little bit constrained in terms of what they can say. And so I'd be very interested in reading that report, assuming it becomes public, but it does not at all restrain the value of an independent citizens group looking at what happened. Beyond that, I could tell you that we sad to say, had other incidents. When I was on the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, I was called to a small community. And I was called there because there was a citizens meeting that night. And the question was, what should we do about the following? The following was that the police in that small community were taking photographs of young Chicano and Chicana youngsters, mostly of high school age. And the youngsters would protest. The police would go up and say, can we take your picture? And they would say, well, I haven't done anything. If you want to take my picture, that's fine. Later, however, those pictures in a private meeting were shown to the local school board, arguing that there was a tremendous problem with gangs in that small community, and they showed all these pictures to show the seriousness of the gangs. Fortunately, one of the members of the school board was a Latina, and she said, hey, wait a minute, I know these kids, they aren't gang members. And so then they called me to come and talk to them of the rights that they had in terms of not having that happen, taking all those photographs and then secretly arguing before school officials and presumably other officials that those youngsters were members of gangs. So there are issues that this commission will be called upon to look at. Our principal focus initially will be Woodland and Yolo County. But I was just asked by one of the reporters as to whether or not we would look beyond that, and I suggested to him that we'll be a fact-finding group. Therefore, if folk come to us who have incidents or concerns that they want, whether they are from this region or beyond, I'm sure that we will be more than happy to listen to them, again, in the spirit of fact-finding. Nothing is more important in a democracy than citizen participation. In a democracy, of course, the government is supposed to represent the people, and it happens pretty well. But you know, for many years I was a poverty lawyer, and the folk that were sued more often than anybody were federal agencies and state agencies who were failing to do their job. So nothing supplants the power of citizens looking at what their officials are doing and asking the question, is that the right thing to do? Is it right statutorily? Is it right humanely? Is it right constitutionally? So that's basically what this commission will be doing. I'll be happy to answer any questions any of you may have. And I'm conscious of which I forgot to mention, it's a little bit warm out here. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to right now, or we could do it individually afterwards. But if there are any questions that you have in immediate sense, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Yeah, the suggestion